Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. An unexpectedly peaceful transition in Washington, D.C., and very welcomed. Meanwhile, a violent inauguration night in Portland, Oregon. Let's go to the video.
This is a Column 6 News breaking news alert.
Yesterday saw a peaceful transition of power in Washington, D.C., but here in Portland, unrest and some violence marked Inauguration Day.
We're following three separate protests as windows were smashed across the city and tear gas was deployed outside the ICE building in South Portland. Thanks for being with us here on Coin 6 News this morning. I'm Jenny Henson.
And I'm Ken Body. We first take a look at the aftermath near the Immigration and Customs Enforcement building from overnight.
Elise Haas live this morning with some new video. And Elise, what all happened last night out there?
Jenny, we knew that there was going to be protesters coming to this area. We saw them posting about it on social media. And around 8 o'clock last night, they really started gathering at the park nearby. Police say that they were also monitoring this crowd, and they're estimating that it was a group of about 150 people. Police say once that crowd came here to the ICE building, they immediately started spray painting the outside of it. Here's some new spray paint here that says "Reunite Families Now." There is also some more spray paint around the side of the building as well, but there's a lot of profanity, so I cannot show it to you on TV. But we know that when the protesters came to this area and started spray painting, pretty soon after, police say that the federal officers started coming outside of the building. So in this video, you can see those federal officers. They have their riot gear on, as well as people who are coming out and shouting and walking towards them. This video shows federal officers deploying what sounds like pepper bullets at people, as well as throwing canisters of tear gas. It even appears that one of the federal officers has a gun-type machine that is blowing tear gas as well. Portland police say federal officers moved in on the crowd and pushed them away as the tear gas was then filling the air for about a block away from the ICE building. Some of the people tried to move back in using umbrellas as shields. During that time, police say they circulated throughout the neighborhood for the next hour, arresting people in the crowd. And during the arrest, police say the crowd slowly dissipated and eventually there was only a few dozen people left. And we have reached out to federal officers, Department of Homeland Security, and the ICE about this event last night, and we're waiting to hear back from them. So we'll update the story online once we do. Reporting live at the South Waterfront, Elise Haas, Coin 6 News.
All right, thanks, Elise.
The day after the election, and it appears the Antifa umbrella is still open, as you saw the Antifa tag there on the Democratic Party headquarters in Portland, Oregon, the Oregon State Democratic Party headquarters. And it kind of puts to rest the idea that Antifa was a Democrat organization. So for those that thought Antifa is going to disappear, it appears that is not the case, at least not on Inauguration night, as we saw there in Portland. Now, what about QAnon? What about the Trumpers? Are they going to disappear? Here's a report. And this is from the mainstream media. This is CNN.
a reckoning. It was all part of conspiracy theories like QAnon that many Trump supporters bought into.
How are you going to feel when Biden is inaugurated at noon today?
You're going to ask me that. I don't believe, this sounds so crazy, and I recognize how crazy this sounds, but I don't believe Joe Biden is going to be sworn in as president today.
We met Trump supporter William Wheating here in Washington early on the morning of the inauguration. He says he's not a QAnon believer, but he does espouse some of its theories.
I mean, the martial law thing is the sort of basis conspiracy theory, no?
Well, everybody wants to tag facts as conspiracy theory, so it's just a way of discounting facts.
But if he doesn't declare martial law, would that prove to you that it's, by this time tomorrow, that it was a conspiracy theory?
No, if he doesn't declare martial law, then I will feel like my vote no longer counts in the United States, and that's not a good thing.
Wheating and many other Trump supporters are living in a world of conspiracy theories. As the reality of Joe Biden's presidency set in, some QAnon forums were filled with people coming to the realization that they had been duped.
There are a lot of QAnon followers who feel very angry and disillusioned as they realize they have been misled. But there are also many people who are still doubling down, still trusting the plan, still thinking that something very dramatic is going to happen.
Joe Biden was just sworn in about 15 minutes ago.
So I met you right here.
You were in the dark last night.
Last night, it was about 3 a.m. You were out here streaming live on YouTube. Do you feel like you've been duped, that you've been tricked, that you've been fooled in some way here?
Actually, no. The way I felt was when I saw, I was leading up until the minute that he said, "I, Joe Biden," like when he's right, I'm watching him walk up, I'm thinking to myself, my life's about to completely change because I've been saying I'm either a conspiracy theorist or I'm a prophet, kind of like, it's kind of Christian humor, I'm not a prophet. But I was just kind of in shock, and I thought I had to reevaluate everything, the way my life was going to be now, because it's so different than my expectations. And I literally was just kind of walking around like, what now?
Where are QAnon followers going now? I mean, what is next?
So some QAnon followers, probably a minority, will give up on QAnon and fall away. Still others will stick to the plan, believe that there's some sort of great dramatic revolution that's going to happen at any second. Still others will probably be recruited into even more dangerous and more militant extremist movements.
It's not as if all of this is going away now that Biden is president.
No, I'm afraid not.
Do you think maybe the way you're wrong about Joe Biden being sworn in, you might be wrong about the whole election rigging thing?
No, I'm convinced the election was a fraud.
The guy in the cowboy hat said that either he was a conspiracy theorist or a prophet, and then said it was a Christian joke. And of course, he wasn't a prophet. So if he was one or the other and he wasn't one of them, that only leaves the other. He knows he's a conspiracy theorist. It's just he can't admit it to himself yet. And a lot are going to be that way. As you saw, many are peeling off already, understanding that it was all a great big con. It was all about filling Donald Trump's campaign funds for a legal challenge that had absolutely no basis, and a lot of people fell for it. A lot of people spent a lot of money on that big lie. Some people lost their lives over that big lie. We need to be cautious. All of us do, but especially those that have already been duped once. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then, of course, George W. Bush won't get fooled again. Tagging a Who song in there somehow. But anyway, don't get fooled again. Maybe President Bush was onto something, Think about it. He was a Republican president. You've been fooled by someone that claimed to be a Republican president. If you're a diehard Trumper, you're probably not a Republican. You're just a disenfranchised citizen, or you feel you're disenfranchised for some reason. And I'm not going to discount those feelings. We've never said on here at all that we hate Trumpers. We hate Trump. We hate Trump supporters. Never said anything like that. We said you've been conned, you've been misguided, you've been misled. And we also said most of you probably sincerely believe what you're doing is patriotic because you were lied to. You know, and the whole thing started with lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate so many years ago. So you've had time to be conditioned to be conned, and you've been conned. And we'll give you a little bit of time to come out of it. And hopefully you do. And hopefully America's stronger because of this. But it is something to think about. We'll be talking about these things moving forward. We're moving forward. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. I will be live Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. And we'll do the Sunday night weekly wrap and you have some questions. We'll have some conversation. It's always a good time. I enjoy anytime I get to interact with the viewers. I love you all. Thank you so very much. Day one of the administration of the 46th President of the United States. And we'll be keeping an eye on how things move along. I love you.